on Australia's Business Channel. Welcome to In Business.
Hello, I'm Richard Goncalves. Helping you get and stay in business today is Joshua Nichols from Platinum Electrical Contractors. Well, it's still not too late to nominate for the 2008 Telstra Business Awards program, with entries opening tomorrow. It's a scheme showcasing and rewarding small to medium enterprises and their successes. Now, Platinum Electrical Contractors was a national category winner last year. It had its beginnings as a one-man and a van operation working out of a suburban bedroom. But Joshua Nichols managed to grow that business to include more than 30 staff members and has a slew of awards under his belt, and he's still under the age of 30. He joins us now in the studio to tell us how he's done it. Josh, thanks very much for your time.
Not a problem, Richard.
Let's start talking about how you started the business from the very beginning. So you literally started from your bedroom. Tell us about that.
Yes, literally out of my bedroom at my mum and dad's house. I took over half of their garage, putting all my stock and storage in there, which they were really supportive parents, so I'm really grateful for that.
How old were you at the time?
I was 22 at the time when I started, so I just finished my apprenticeship with my previous company. I stayed with them for a further 3 years and then started my business. And yeah, working out of my bedroom at home, I had some of my best customers on the phone with the dog barking in the background sometimes, and I had to explain to them what was going on. But everyone was really supportive, and everyone, I suppose, really wanted to give me a go because they could see I was young and trying to make a go of it. So
before starting up the company, you were still working in the field. What were you doing?
Yes, I was working for my previous employer as a tradesman, and I just got, as I said before, I got confident in my work, and then really just did that transition. 1 week I was working for somebody, and the next week I was in my van and working for myself.
Okay. In that startup phase, we hear so many stories about how companies that are trying to build themselves up at the very beginning have troubles. What kind of challenges did you face in say, that initial 1 or 2 years?
Yeah, the biggest challenge for me was my time. I got to the stage where I think a lot of other small businesses get to, where you only can do so much by yourself. You only can do so many hours in a day, and you've got to learn to start delegating, start putting people on. So in the first couple of years, my biggest challenge was just time. I was working till 2 in the morning, doing doing job sheets off my bed, doing the pays till 3 in the morning, and it just started getting crazy. So yeah, the best advice I could offer is surround yourself with good advice, surround yourself with good wisdom, make yourself accountable to somebody, because sometimes being a business owner, it's easy to get wound up in the business and you forget about all the other things that you have to do because you're prioritising everything else. So surround yourself with good wisdom for sure.
Okay. Let's talk about your age. We won't dwell too much on it, but at the beginning, given you were so young, at the very beginning, say your first 2 or 3 years, under the age of 25, is age a problem, or was age a problem at that time?
For some things, I think age for me was more an advantage. A lot of people were willing to give me a go. A lot of people could see something in me, which was exciting. But when it came to getting like our commercial property that we have, our workshop, it was really hard because I wanted to buy it within the first 2 years of business, so I didn't have 2 years of trading financials. And because of my age, it really became a problem. But one bank gave me the loan out of where a lot just wouldn't even look at me. So it was a disadvantage there on trying to get ahead, but as far as getting customers and working with my staff, I think it was an advantage. And
what about gaining customers or clients at the very initial stage? Was it a matter of using your friends and family, or did you go beyond that?
No, it was literally, it was pretty raw. In the early days, I would literally, if I had a gap between my jobs, I'd pull up on a street with my van and literally walk into the shop owner's stalls and say, this is what I do, this is my name, if you can give me a go, it'd be much appreciated, and I'm really just into growing my business, I'm local, and it was really raw, and a lot of the time people just gave me a go, and that's what I said, if you can give me a go, I'll prove myself to you, and the sort of momentum of word of mouth really just grew us from there.
And were you sticking to a specific geographic location, like near home, or were you going to all parts of the area?
Yeah, generally within half an hour from home, purely because I didn't want to be doing Ks all over town in the early days, because I was based and fuel was, and keeping my expenses down was a big concern. So I kept it as local as possible, but really wherever my jobs sort of pulled me up, if I had a gap, I'd pull down the street and do it pretty raw.
And given that you're now the managing director of the company and seeing the company go through it, and you're still under the age of 30, is age now an advantage or a hindrance?
I think I'm at a good age at where I'm at. I think now I've got apprentices that are younger than me. I've got tradesmen that are older than me. I think still I'm classed as young. I feel like I'm getting older, like 29. This is my last year in my 20s. But I think yeah. I still think it's an advantage. I still think people are seeing me out there, having a go and giving it all I've got, so they really sort of get behind me and support me.
And how do you deal with the issue of having employees that are so much older than you, that are your employees? How do you manage to level off that level of respect? How do you get that respect? Or is there a problem with that?
No, I don't have any problems with the staff that I have. They're good guys and they respect that I'm the leader of the business. And I suppose that's where your own personal leadership has to come into play, as far as you need to set it straight from when you employ people. Not that you really have to set it straight, but people need to understand that you're the leader of the business, and what you say sort of goes, and you've got to work together as a team to achieve a common goal.
After the break, what I want to talk about is about the skill shortage and how to keep staff on your side and keep them in the company.
Yep.
But before we go into that, how do you believe you managed to grow the business from day one to what it looks like now? What do you think were the key points going along the way?
Key points are just doing the little things right. There's so many little things in a business that sometimes get left behind. Because you're working in the business, sometimes a lot of people forget about that. But if you can step outside the business and concentrate on those little things, it's just a daily walk of doing the little things right with a spirit of excellence behind it. Is really the keys on getting us ahead. Our biggest form, like in our major growth period in the first 5 years, was basically word of mouth. Another strategy was entering in award programs, because we got a lot of free media and exposure through that way as well.
We'll talk about that all after the break. Plenty more to talk about. You are watching In Business. Stay with us.